Okay guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. All right guys, I'm back and it is Sunday, July 19th, but not for long. It's almost Monday, July 20th. It's 11:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I've already done and uploaded 2 videos, one of which is still processing, but I did want to come back and just hit on this news. This probably won't be a long video, but you know, I've said that before and then it ends up being an hour. I doubt this one will be because it's 11:51 and you guys know what happens to me around 12:30. I get really silly. So let's try and get this over before that happens. All right. Well, if I still have any listeners after the last video, this is just picking up from where I left off in the first video with the news, and I did thank these people, so I won't take the time to thank again, but I just wanted to, because there was a couple things in here that I did want to get out there, so let me just hit on this, and this is a, well, oh, sorry, let me turn that down a little bit. How about that? Yeah, this is very interesting. Says today at Walmart, my wife and I noticed something, facial recognition mirrored. Now, this is very interesting because they are tracking non-compliance at Walmart. And I think that this is very, well, it's interesting and kind of Orwellian, if you ask me. So watch this guy right here. Watch him. I'm going to make this bigger for you tiny phone people because you know I always have to remember my tiny phone people. So watch this guy right here, okay? And watch on the, somebody is actually, videoing this on the monitor at Walmart. So let's watch this. Let's take it back here. So there's the camera. Okay, he's not wearing a mask. Now he covers his mouth and it, look at that.
People think it has to do with the flu. It has nothing to do with the flu. It has to do with control. And when I'm in Walmart, and one of these days this is going to be a prison. Watch my words.
Isn't that interesting? A little scary. But it's obvious that they are doing facial recognition and noticing that somebody doesn't have a mask. And you know, now they have health ambassadors, which are in black polo shirts. Black for health? Are you kidding me? So there's people in black polo shirts now called health ambassadors at Walmart. Health ambassadors at Walmart. Yes, so I guess this software recognizes if someone isn't wearing a mask so that the health ambassador mask police can come and accost you and escort you out of the store. Yes. Now, how long do you think before that's going to be everywhere? Boy, they came up with that real quick, didn't they? It's almost like this was planned. I'm just saying. Okay, now let's go back because there's more to get to. There's always more. And let's look at this. This by IntelliHub. Now let's look at this. Shocker. CDC admits COVID-19 positive result just means you've previously contracted the common cold. Now you're probably wondering, now you're probably understanding why there are so many positives, false positives in people that don't seem sick at all. Because they're not. They had the flu. Who hasn't had the flu? Anyone? A positive result means you have antibodies from an infection with a virus from the same family of viruses called coronaviruses. And what is the flu? It's a coronavirus, such as the one that causes the common cold. And the common cold, yeah, coronavirus. And a coronavirus, just because somebody says coronavirus, it doesn't mean COVID-19, because there are lots of coronaviruses. A coronavirus is only a virus that has those little crown-like extensions, you know, coming from it, which is why it's called corona, meaning crown. Yeah, so in what can only be considered a pre-orchestrated top-down worldwide pyramid scheme, also involving the executive office of the President of the United States, President Donald Trump, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, and others who've defrauded the American people yet once again after it has been revealed by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention that a positive COVID-19 test result merely shows that the testee was once infected with the common cold and nothing more. Now, I don't necessarily agree that Trump is necessarily in on it, but I don't know that. He's against masks. That's a given. So I don't know. And I don't think he's too fond of Dr. Fauci either. So I don't know. I give him a little bit more credit than that. But anyway, IntelliHub founder and editor-in-chief Shepard Ambulis tweeted out the details on Tuesday, which ultimately unveils a sinister plan that's currently afoot in regards to unconstitutional closures, shutdowns, lockdowns, forced testing, contact tracing, and the complete dismantlement of society as we know it, i.e. the invisible enemy, aka CD19. And they actually admitted it. At CDC admits COVID-19 tests only test for the common cold. And I'm not going to read that. Y'all MFers have been duped. Real Donald Trump is in bed with Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates. They will track and eventually vaccinate you. You are sheep if you allow it. Now, I do believe that there is a vaccine coming, and I think that they will say it's not mandatory. But I think that will quickly change. That's what I believe. Now, I don't know, but come on. You know how they do things like that. I mean, all governments do it. They'll tell you one thing and they'll say, oh, but it'll be not be mandatory. But how long until it'll become mandatory? Or maybe it won't be mandatory, which I'm sure that Donald Trump was telling the truth. It won't be mandatory. But will you be able to work if you don't have the vaccine? Will you be able to go to school if you don't have the vaccine? I don't know. You may test positive for antibodies even if you have never had symptoms of COVID. This can happen if you had an infection without symptoms, which is called an asymptomatic infection. Yeah. And keep in mind, President Donald Trump signed an $8.3 billion coronavirus bill on March 4th, 2020, and a lot of large businesses benefited, not to mention members of Congress and the Senate got a raise that has been shamelessly written into the bill by the proverbial vultures in Washington. Well, that's not Donald Trump's fault. That was the Democrats that did that. They gave themselves a raise. Shockingly, according to Forbes, $2.2 billion went to the Center for Disease Control, which has been at the forefront of the U.S. response to the virus, but has come under criticism for errors that limited how many people can get tested for COVID-19. Additionally, $7 billion in business loans were divvied out among millions, along with millions of dollars in vaccine development and research aid. I know one of those companies is Moderna, which has very questionable. Yeah, there's a lot to Moderna. I need to be looking into that too. Yeah, so there you go. It's just interesting that the CDC admitted that, but, I don't know. I mean, why, if Donald Trump knows that this is and I'm not criticizing him, I'm really not, I'm just asking a question, which we all should be doing. If Donald Trump is against this whole and knows that it's a false flag, then why is he giving all this money to vaccine research? I don't know. That confuses me a bit. Okay, it confuses me a lot. But if anybody has an explanation, I would love to hear it, because I'm not against Trump at all. But I have questions. And you know what? As thinking human beings, it's okay to question. It's all right. We should question everything. All right. Well, let's Let's go back here. This by Graham Allen. He says, according to mainstream media, Joe Biden is leading Donald Trump nationally by 15 points. How do they know this? They interviewed 1,006 people. Don't believe the lies. I don't think we're under any disillusionment about Biden's chances of winning. Unless there was some massive cheating, there is not a chance that that man could come into power. And I'm glad, because he's not even fit to take office. And I don't mean that as a way of putting him down. I mean, yeah, I don't agree with his policies. I think he's probably one of the most crooked people in Washington. But it's obvious that there's some dementia happening there. Or it's an act, but if it's an act, he deserves an Oscar. All right, and let's look at this. Patriot Kimmy, who is impersonating Kamala Harris. Face looks strange, teeth are not the same. The new Kamala never stops smiling. Yeah, she doesn't ever stop smiling, and it's weird, ghoulish. And I know we've covered this in the first news video, but it's just bizarre. Look at the differences here. Oh, here. I keep forgetting about my tiny phone people. Like, she looks ghoulish. I've never seen the likes of it. I don't know if she had a really, really bad plastic surgeon, or it's a different person, or what. But face doesn't look right. She's like continually smiling with a very ghoulish grin. It does not look natural at all. All right, I know I've flogged that dead horse long enough, but still I can't get over it. It's just weird. It's weird. Oh, what's this? Replying to Patriot Kimmy. Well, yeah, look at the difference there. Look at how nice her teeth are. Perfect teeth. And she, like, actually, now I don't agree with any of her policies or anything, but she's an attractive woman. This is scary. Like, if I saw that looking in the window at me, I would scream at the top of my lungs. I'd probably wake the dead. But look, and the eyes, they're black. And what is this? It looks like there's teeth rot down here, unless she's got something in her teeth. But look at these teeth up here. There's a gap there. There's no gap here. Who is this woman? And look, when she smiles, there's like a pulling right here. You notice that? Wow. Just bizarre. I can't get over this. I'm sorry, but I just can't. And those eyes are spooky. Like, this woman, she's an attractive woman. I don't care what anybody says. I don't like her as a person and what she stands for, but I can look at her objectively and say, well, yeah, she's an attractive woman. Maybe not on the inside, but then look at this. And her hair is much darker there, much, much darker. The eyebrows are, I mean, maybe she's going to Nancy Pelosi's plastic surgeon. Could be. I mean, she looks a little Pelosi-like there. Look at Pelosi had those deep hollows in her eyes and the eyebrows that, are way up here. And I don't know, maybe she and Pelosi have the same plastic surgeon. But to me, this woman, like here, like she always had nice cheekbones and everything, but here it almost looks like she's had implants or something, or this could be somebody that had plastic surgery to look more like Kamala Harris. I don't know. But doesn't look like her to me. I know. I keep flogging this horse. I keep flogging it and flogging it and flogging it. But I still don't understand. It's so weird. Look! Look at the difference. She doesn't even smile normally. I don't know. Okay. I know. And look! What the heck is that? What? I'm going to have nightmares tonight. And look at, this is all wrinkling here. It's like she's wearing a mask or something. And she looks lighter. She looks a lot lighter than Kamala Harris. And her hair looks darker. She's scaring me. Oh. I shudder. Oh, I shudder again. Can you believe Biden's inept body double? Mine will be much better. No, not so much. Not so much, Kamala. Okay, let's go back because I know, I've beaten it to death, but I just can't get over it. And I know I'm going to have nightmares tonight. I know I am. Now, this is stuff that I had covered in the video that, it was corrupted. So I hate it when the videos get corrupted. No, really, I do. I hate that. So I just wanted to go over a few of these things that I really did want to tell you. Now it's a couple days late, but well, look at this. Questions raised after fatal motorcycle crash listed as COVID-19 death. It's like, I've said before, if you go out and you decide to go swimming and a shark comes and bites you in half and bites your head off, and like there's just little bits of your body floating on top of the water, they're going to gather all those parts up, take it to the morgue, and mark your death as COVID. Yeah, they even said as much. Yeah. But then they even have the nerve to say in here, well, maybe the fact that he had COVID, caused the motorcycle accident. What? Okay, using that logic, if you're in an airplane and there's somebody in there that has COVID and the plane crashes, they're going to list your death as COVID. And how do they reason that? Well, the fact that he had COVID caused the plane to crash because, I don't know. Orlando, Florida, a person who died in a motorcycle accident was added to Florida's COVID-19 death count, according to a state health officials. Oh, my cats are getting frisky there, or whatever you call it. I can hear them banging on walls. At least I hope it's the cats. Might be Kamala Harris outside wanting to get in. All right. Fox 35 News found this out after asking Orange County Health Officer Dr. Paul Pino whether 2 coronavirus victims were in their 20s had any underlying conditions. One of his answers surprised us. Well, the first one didn't have any. He died in a motorcycle accident, Pino said. Dr. Pino was asked if the man's data was removed. And we're going to have to go here to finish it. At the time he said he had asked the state to remove it from its numbers, but he didn't know if it ever was. After reporting on Thursday and Friday, officials notified Fox 35 on Saturday that they verified the death is no longer being counted. A person who died in a motorcycle accident was added to Florida's COVID-19 death count, according to a state health official. Fox 35 News found this out after asking Orange County Health Officer Dr. Paul Pino whether 2 coronavirus victims who were in their 20s had any underlying conditions. One of his answers surprised us. The first one didn't have any. He died in a motorcycle accident. Dr. Pino asked if the man's data was removed. I don't think so. I'll have to double check, Pino said. Well, we were discussing or trying to argue with the state, not because of the numbers, it's 100. It doesn't make any difference if it's 99. But the fact that the individual didn't die from COVID-19 died in the crash. But you could actually argue that it could have been COVID-19 that caused him to crash. Yeah. I don't know the conclusion of that one, he says. There are still 2 people in their 20s on Orange County's data list for coronavirus deaths. Can you imagine? He goes, I don't think so. I have to double check, Pino said. We were discussing or trying to argue with the state, not because of the numbers. He's saying, like, if there's like 100 cases, it doesn't matter if it's only 99. And he died in a crash, but you could actually argue it could have been the COVID that caused him to crash. Somebody commits suicide and, they find them and they find out that they were positive for COVID. Well, they'll say that they died of COVID. Well, probably the COVID caused them to commit suicide. I don't know. Somebody shot full of holes and, they died of COVID. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was the COVID that caused the holes. How do we know it was a gun? I don't know, but they are like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Are we dumbed down that much that people actually see that and they believe it? Maybe it was the COVID that caused the crash. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was the COVID that broke into my house. I don't know. Maybe it was the COVID that caused my house to burn down. Maybe. I don't know. Weird logic these people have. Very, very, very weird logic. Okay, let's go on now, shall we? Of course we shall. All right. And Andy, no, he says, well, duh. All federal agencies have non-police marked vehicles. They can't do investigation, surveillance, or discreet arrests of masked suspects evading arrest in cars marked police. And the fact that, they were targeting all police vehicles that were marked police and burning them and, smashing the windows and so forth. Now they're complaining because they're driving around in unmarked cars. Oh, you're not making it so easy for us. You should mark it police so we know what vehicles to attack. All right. Riders burn every police vehicle they can find and then complain their replacement vehicles aren't painted in easily identified local news-friendly police color schemes. The optics will now look like they're vandalizing soccer moms' vans. And that's right. Like if they're vandalizing a van that's unmarked, people will think, well, look, they're attacking the soccer mom or something. So, yeah, I could see that where that could be a problem for them. Yeah, those darn police. They really need to, mark those vehicles. How dare they not? Okay. I love this. I love this article. You can't stop me from loving it. This is the Donald Trump I love because he's one of a kind. And I mean that in a good way. Trump White House reportedly relocated presidential portraits of Clinton Bush from grand foyer to unused dining room. The Trump White House has inexplicably relocated the presidential portraits of Bill Clinton and George W. Bush from their prominent position in the grand foyer to a small dining room now mostly used for storage. You gotta love that. Portraits of two Republican presidents from more than a century ago, William McKinley and Theodore Roosevelt, now hang there instead. The sudden rearranging of presidential portraits in the midst of unprecedented overlapping crisis was symbolic of the Trump White House recent struggle, suggested CNN. Well, who listens to CNN? Who cares what they think? Collins mentioned this break with tradition. The grand foyer typically displays some of the most recent presidential portraits. That was reported by CNN on Friday night. Well, you know what? It's Trump's White House now. He can do what he wants, right? He lives there. That's his house. Yep. I wouldn't want their faces staring at me, would you? No, I'd move them to storage room, dining room, whatever. Wherever I wouldn't have to look at their ugly mugs. Just saying, not that they're ugly. I'm just saying that their hearts are ugly, and when that shines all the way through. You just can't hide ugly. Yep. All right. So anyway, I think we've had enough of that because if I think if I read any farther, I might start laughing because I think it's just classic. It's classic Trump. That's what it is. And I love this. Americans in 1944 facing almost certain death. And they were. This is on D-Day. And they did. I mean, most of them ran right into the face of death. Most of them perished. That's Americans in 1944. And then this is Americans in 2020 facing a 99.9% survival rate. Yeah. All right. Now, I'm gonna blow this up so you can see it, but I'm not gonna read it because I think this might have been what corrupted my file. I don't know, but you gotta be careful when you're talking about words like this. So I'm gonna make this big so everybody can see it, even those of you on your tiny phones. All right, you can read it. I don't know what to make of this. I'm just reporting it. I don't know whether there's any truth to it or not, but it says, Patriots, be prepared for... And this sounds really far-fetched, but these people have Trump clone. They're going to, this clone, the media will go wild. Don't believe a word of it. He already knows about this. He's safe. Retweet, make this go viral. Now, you never know with something like this, whether somebody has just posted this to see how many people post it so that they can make fun of those people. You know, like they repost it like it's true, and then people go, look what these people believe. Because this seems a little bit far-fetched to me. But I thought I'd show it to you. Because either it's crazy and they're doing this to just bait us, or, I don't know, stranger things have happened. Probably today, somewhere in the world, stranger things have happened. Now, let's look at this from Juanita Broderick. Oh my, what will we do if Chrissy leaves Twitter? Chrissy Teigen threatens to leave Twitter if company doesn't deal with conspiracy theorists, known as QAnon. Oh my God, I know, you know what, I've been literally so broken up about that. I've been so worried, sick about it, literally. I can't eat, I can't sleep, just makes my back hurt more, just thinking about her leaving Twitter. I mean, what are we going to do? How will the world continue? Will it knock the earth off its axis and will we careen right into the sun? I don't know. I'm worried. She says she's going to leave. She's blocked more than 1 million people and deleted more than 60,000 tweets. Yeah. Have you seen some of the tweets she deleted? I'd delete them too. Actually, I'd never make them. Alrighty, and let's look at this. Stella Emanuel, MD. I refuse to be chained by fake science. I have successfully treated over 250 COVID patients with HCQ, Z-Pak, and zinc. No deaths. All these double-blinded studies sponsored by Big Pharma is fake science. Good for you, Stella Emanuel, MD. And let's look at this. Lucky with the straight right. I was attacked a few years ago by a stranger, stabbed multiple times, face sliced to hell, and suffered a traumatic brain injury. Thank you, Governor, for the absolute panic I have to endure every single day in fear that you will release the man that did this to me. I guess his life matters more than mine. There's a lot of victims of violent crime that are afraid now because they are releasing so many people that should never be released into the public. And they're doing that, of course, because they know that these people will cause unrest and probably, which is what they want, especially as the election nears. We know what they're doing. All right, and Jesse Melton for U.S. Congress. A few days ago, a girlfriend of mine went to a lab in Boynton, I guess that's how you pronounce that, for COVID tests. She filled out paperwork. They told her wait was 45 minutes, but after 1.15 hours, 1.25 hours, she left because she couldn't wait longer. She never took the test. They just called her and told her she tested positive. Funny how that happens, isn't it? Seems to happen a lot. They want to really inflate the numbers to cover for the fact that, yeah, it's 99.9% survival rate. Now, it's bad. For some people, it's bad. For the elderly, not good. Okay, now let's look at this little piece of ridiculousness. Crazy. Unarmed, get this, unarmed city workers, not the police, not police officers, unarmed city workers are to perform traffic stops in California City. Yeah, they're going to be replacing police officers under a new plan approved this week. Berkeley City Council's vote directed the city manager and city officials to reimagine public safety. Yeah, What happens when one of them gets shot and killed? They are unarmed city workers, untrained. They're not trained police officers. They don't have weapons on them, and they're going to conduct traffic stops? Really? And it boggles my mind. It's craziness. I don't know, it's insanity. Insanity, I say. Let's go back. I don't want to dwell on that because it's getting 12:20 and we're getting dangerously close to that time when I don't know what happens to me at night. All filters go and I just become me. All right. Nicole Sapir, MD, breaking: health officials from numerous states have mistakenly included positive results from antibody tests when reporting new COVID cases to the CDC, grossly inflating new cases, the scientific equivalent to double dipping. And Emerald Robinson says, breaking: sources inside Trump administration confirmed to me that CDC has been misreporting the data for coronavirus to inflate the numbers. Yeah, I think we're all aware of that, but... And look at this. Breaking: Black Lives Matter mural in front of Trump Tower doused with blue paint in support of the New York Police Department. 2 people were taken into custody. Welcome to New York City, where looting stores down Fifth Avenue is perfectly fine, but pouring paint on the ground will get you arrested. Yes, it will. And I saw one woman that was arrested for putting black paint on the Black Lives Matter mural. She was arrested. She's out of jail, and she just went immediately and did it again. Now that's somebody that's dedicated. And you know what? I think more people should. I mean, I don't even want to say that because I'm thinking, would I go out and do it knowing that I'd be arrested? Probably not. There's, things about jail that I just don't like. Not that I've ever been there, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, you know what? I'm going to leave that for tonight, and that is 3 videos in one night. 3 videos in one night. Yes. Okay, well, all right. Now, it seems to me that, something I need to cover as well. Well, I won't tell you guys about it. I'll just let it be a surprise. Anyway. It's something that I think you'll find interesting, not anything, heavy. Well, it is heavy. It is really heavy. Okay, I'm going to talk about the asteroid. Not tonight, though. Not tonight. I'm going to bed. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm going to bed. Hopefully I'll sleep. I'm still wide awake. But I don't want to do another video. 4 videos in one night. That's too much, man. That's too much. All right. Okay. That's it. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys that are sticking with me. I really do. And that's it. So you guys have a good night. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth. Good night, guys.